Oh, I had to add to stream. My bad. We're new at this one.
Yeah,
Don't know
well, we're
this.
trying something different here.
Okay. Hi, guys.
What's up, guys? Gentlemen, how you doing?
Oh, Prima Nearly. We're having too much fun. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm going to back this out of that for a second because I need to do this. And while I'm doing this, do you mind double checking? Make sure we're good on there, please. If you don't mind, sir.
On the YouTube.
Yes, sir. Just double check. Make sure we're golden on there. Twitch, we already know we're golden with you guys. Thank you for joining us. It is Wrestling Talk. We will be discussing the pay per view Survivor Series War Games. So, looking forward to that.
It's quite interesting. Yep. All right.
Hey, look at that. Good. Thank you. Feel better
We
about that.
are live.
So, we got
There it is.
the live going. And yes, please turn me off. I don't need to hear me. I can already hear me. I don't need to hear me more.
Right.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the audio set up for the audio podcast later, and then we're good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for Sports Talk with Cooper and Big Man. This is Big Man joining me, of course, as always, is my brother Cooper. Cooper, how we doing, brother?
Doing good, man.
I'm good, man. We're looking forward to this one.
Dude, this was wrestling.
Yes, sir. I am looking forward to this. And as soon as I can find where the cursor just went, I could actually. Oh, here we go. I can get the notes back up and we can actually talk about it.
Let's do it.
So we have Survivor Series War Games.
Oh, yeah.
This was an interesting concept to try. I'm kind of actually glad because we don't have brand domination anymore. We don't have them split. They basically are together. You know, somebody who was in charge before got rid of a lot of people, so you couldn't really keep brands split.
Yeah.
You basically had to keep everybody going across SmackDown and Raw. So Triple H is like, you know what? Let's try out Survivor War Games on Survivor Series. And I think it made it actually pretty decent Survivor
It
Series.
did. It made then what we've seen.
True, I believe so.
So,
There wasn't really like any overly forced storylines to make it work at Summer. Not Survivor Series, my bad. Too many pay per views, but I think it worked out very nicely because you already kind of had the damage control, which we're about to talk about, versus Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and all them was already basically developing nicely. The only thing that kind of was a little weird was Maya Yim and Rhea Ripley kind of being shoved in there to make it a 5-on-5. That kind of seemed a little bit much, but other than that, it worked out pretty well. And of course, when we talk about the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, obviously Roman and McIntyre's had issues, so it made sense to put McIntyre in with the Brawling Brutes. Sami Zayn's been palling around with the Bloodline lately, so we know him and Kevin Owens have had a history, so that worked out. So that one actually worked a little bit better for me, but it still worked out really well for even the women's side. It wasn't overly forced; it just was kind of odd. It was an odd kind of way they went about doing it, but they made it work.
we
Yeah,
don't have much of that.
yeah.
It was nice, you know. Ain't gonna lie, didn't mind the outfit.
I'm sure you didn't.
It was good. It was good.
I mean, you also wouldn't mind being letting her be your poppy too. She's like, Dom is so lucky. It's Rhea's poppy or mommy or whatever, mammy or poppy or whatever. She come on down, Rhea Ripley. Chris, sorry, Cooper wouldn't mind a Riptide with the way she's been doing pinnings lately either. Hello, kind of hot. All right, so Survivor Series War Games. We're going to start off with Team Bel Air versus Team Damage Control in the first War Games. Raw Women's Champion and Team Captain Bianca Belair started the match against WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Dakota Kai of Team Damage Control. Kai, a veteran of the War Game matches from her time in NXT, used the structure to her advantage to gain an upper hand on Belair. As the Raw Women's Champion rallied, Io Sky entered the match, and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions battered and bruised Belair. Asuka entered the fray next and used her signature strikes to throw up Sky and Kai. That's too much. Can't do some rhyming like that, man. Come on. Sky Kai! Sky Kai! Anyways, which allowed Belair enough time to recover. Beyond Hinge, Nikki Cross, I'm so happy she's back to being normal. Well, her normal. Yes, her normal is a lot better than ASH. We'll talk about that some other time. But anyways, she of course was on part of Team Damage Control and pulled multiple kendo sticks and a trash can lid into the ring with her. Cross was able to gain control and taking out Belair and Asuka with ease. However, Alexa Bliss was the next to hit the ring and took out her former tag team partner, with Belair and Asuka joining her in the beatdown. As the women battled, Cross ascended to the top of the cage and leveled everyone with a crossbody. That was entirely sick. If you have not seen that, go see that. Either go on to Peacock and watch it, or look on it. I'm sure it's on YouTube already. If YouTube's back up, well, it's obviously back up because we're live on it. But I'm just saying, if it's working properly, and hopefully we're still working properly on YouTube, go see it. It was insane. It was a great crossbody dive off the top corner of the cage. It was amazing. Loved every second of it. She did. And she laughed about it maniacally. Just over in the corner, she's holding her own stomach or abdomen area, just going.
It's so.
Yes.
I know some people talk about it,
Mhm.
but
It is true. That's what she's good at. All right. So Bailey and her team laid waste to Team Bianca, incapacitating all of them before Maya Yim entered the match. Yim added even more weapons using a trash can and other scattered weapons to aid her teammates. Rhea Ripley became the fifth and final member of Team Damage Control to enter, and she used brute strength to crush each member of Team Bianca. As chaos ensued in the ring, Becky Lynch entered the bout as the final competitor, and the match officially began. This is the weird thing about this match. You're basically the first two get 5 minutes to just beat the hell out of each other. Then after the 5 minutes, it's 3 minutes per in between each next competitor. And you get an advantage, and the advantage was determined, I believe, on the Monday night prior. Rhea Ripley got the advantage for her team. I believe she beat Asuka, I believe it was, on the Monday night before Survivor Series to get the advantage for her team. Of course, obviously, Damage Control got some distractions going, which helped. And I think Judgment Day even helped Rhea Ripley in that as well. But so that's basically how that goes with War Games. And so basically, you get an advantage, and then it's even. Then you get an advantage, and then it's even again, all the way until you get 5-on-5. And then the match officially begins after all 10 competitors are in the cage at the same time. First one to get a pinfall or submission gets the victory for their team. Doesn't matter. It's not elimination. It would be cool if it was elimination, though. That'd make it fun. But that's just me. At some point, yeah. So as all 10 battled inside the cage with weapons and bodies flying across both rings. Yes, there's 2 rings, by the way, which makes it even more crazy. With weapons. Oh, yeah, I already said that. During the chaos, Sky made her way to the top of the cage and hit a marvelous moonsault to Belair and Asuka. That was also pretty good. Not as great as Cross's crossbody. That's where to say, isn't it? Cross's crossbody. Which was brilliant. I mean, the moonsault was still really good for Sky. She did a great job on it. When you take out pretty much everybody at one time with a crossbody, it's just but it was still a beautiful moonsault. But she didn't muster enough energy to get the pinfall attempt. Yim came close to putting Ripley to sleep, but the powerhouse smashed Yim through a ladder, preserving the match for her team. Belair and Lynch took on Bailey, Kai, and Sky by themselves, with Lynch hitting a manhandle slam on Kai, while Belair dropped Sky with a KOD. After the pair set the tag team champions on a table, Lynch scaled the cage. Belair hit Bailey with a nasty KOD into the cage wall, and Lynch took a jaw-dropping leap from the top of the cage, smashed Kai inside through the table, securing the victory for Team Bianca. That one was nuts.
and you and I.
Yeah. Sure.
So it was good to see her play out.
Mhm.
And, what's gonna happen?
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward, but it's
It
going to be
definitely
fun.
is. I think championship.
Quite possibly.
So
I mean, I don't think she'd be Raw Women's Champion. She was having to face someone of the caliber of Ronda Rousey. You know, she did make an announcement at the press conference recently of what her dream opponents would be, and the former Queen coming back soon, Charlotte Flair, would be one of those that she wouldn't mind facing. And I don't know, just what do we know though with Charlotte pay per views though?
yeah,
Charlotte wins championships. Mhm.
And to be honest, I would love to see somebody beat her for, get away with something,
Yeah.
But then again, Charlotte Flair's good at coming up with a roll up and winning out of nowhere. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It'd be a good match.
It could be. We'll see what happens on moving forward with that.
Yeah.
All right, so AJ Styles and Finn Balor settled their personal score at Survivor Series with Balor, Balor gaining the early upper hand with his quick offensive strikes. With both Judgment Day and the OC patrolling ringside, Balor maintained control only until Styles was able to trap Balor's leg in the ropes and injured it. With both men battling inside the ring, tensions boiled over outside as Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson began to brawl with Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, causing all four men to exit ringside and fight to the backstage area. Styles and Balor continue to combat each other, with Balor hitting Styles' own neckbreaker, and Styles leveling up his opponent with a twist elbow from a reverse DDT position. After Styles avoided a coup de grace, the phenomenal one applied the calf crusher, was nearly forced Balor to tap out, but Balor countered by repeatedly slamming Styles' head into the mat. The two men would trade blows until Styles nailed Balor with a step-up enziguri, staggering him, allowing Styles enough time to hit the phenomenal forearm, which was enough to earn the victory. Cooper. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a real big fan of
Mhm.
even though
Yeah.
I was expecting more
Mhm.
from AJ Styles and they're both very good wrestlers. They're high flyers. It's something.
Yeah, I mean, when you got possible outside interference kind of keeping you on edge about when this is about to boil over, luckily they kind of just turned on each other outside and then took it away, so that way we got an actual legitimate finish between the two. But you're right, it's not the way you would have wanted it to go.
To me, I don't think it's really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I would agree with that. Right, forearm, the phenomenal forearm leading into the Styles Clash, or just something that would be more of a finisher.
I mean, even the four. That's
True.
phenomenal form,
Yeah, it's a little hard to do a 450 off the ropes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes it. It's. I mean, he's gonna get at some point. He's gonna get too old to even do the phenomenal forearm. Yeah, would have been better, I think, if he would have made him tap out myself. But that's just.
He was very close.
He was close, but I'm just saying the tap out would have, I think, is a little bit more personal to me that you made them quit. You made him quit. You made him quit. You had to tap. 1, 2, 3, baby, get me the hell out of here. Pinning is just.
I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, do we need to get a hold of AJ and have him come hit you with a phenomenal forearm and see how badly it hurts? Okay. Well, good luck getting a hold of AJ Styles, but I'm just saying. All right, next up
I'm
we
down for it.
Next up we had Ronda Rousey putting her SmackDown Women's Championship on the line against Shotzi. Challenging for a singles title for the first time in her WWE career, Shotzi immediately took the fight to Ronda Rousey, knocking her down to the outside, throwing her into the steel ring steps. With Rousey down, Shotzi took to the top rope, but her splash was countered into a ferocious slam. Rousey then, with Shayna Baszler in her corner on the outside, attempted several submissions, including a modified sleeper and an armbar. Shotzi refused to give in and battled out of them each time. As the match progressed, the two women battled on the outside until Shotzi took out Rousey and Baszler with a crossbody into the crowd. As the champion and challenger narrowly beat the referee's 10 count, Rousey was able to nail Shotzi with a top rope hip toss. There we go. Hit the Piper's Pit and then locked in the armbar, which then forced Shotzi to finally tap out and retain her SmackDown Women's Championship.
It was
Oh yeah.
whatever that good effort, but ain't no way that you gonna do it.
Right.
Especially the role she done that.
Oh yeah.
And it's got the title right away. She's unstoppable.
Let's see how her friendship with Shayna lasts. Yeah. Let's see how long that lasts, because that one might be where we get to. That's gonna be fun. Two former UFC fighters in WWE going after the SmackDown Women's Championship is gonna be that's gonna be a good one. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if maybe, just maybe, Shayna Baszler wins the Royal Rumble in January, and then not Becky, but Ronda will be like, "Why don't you go after Bianca Belair?" And she goes, "Oh no, I'm you. I want you." And then it gets really interesting after that. All right, so next up we had Seth Rollins putting his United States title on the line in a triple threat match against Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. Right as the bell rang, Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins knocked Austin Theory out of the ring and focused on each other. Not surprisingly, that always usually happens. The two smarter / bigger guys taking out the little guy quickly. Usually how that goes. Granted, but he's also, I wouldn't put him on the same intelligence level as Seth Rollins either. Okay. This is the first time I'm sticking up for Rollins and he's questioning me. How about that? Huh? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a little weird that I'm sticking up for Rollins. Vince screwed him up. Yeah. Anyways, let's see, where was it? After Rollins and Lashley would exchange blows, Theory rejoined into the fray and tried to overpower Lashley to no avail. Yeah, because that makes sense more. None of the three competitors, though, would gain an advantage until Theory managed to use steel steps as a weapon, which in a triple threat match you can do. Whether it's supposed to be legal or not, knocking them into Rollins and Lashley multiple times. As the match went on, Rollins regained the momentum with a choke. I don't know. I guess because that's straight from WWE. I didn't write that, so that's from them. They didn't write all that out. But took out both competitors, and the champion nearly retained after hitting Lashley with the pedigree. That was that. Oh no, that's not the pedigree. We'll be talking about the curb stomp that he pulled. And I was going to say that was actually an impressive curb stomp. As the action continued, Theory countered Hurt Lock into a pin attempt, but Rollins nailed Lashley with a Phoenix splash to break up the attempt. After a flurry of action, Rollins landed a wicked suplex, but he was going for the Falcon Arrow. Oh, that he just bypassed the curb stomp. Lashley then connected a spear as he was going for the Falcon Arrow. The impact allowed Theory to fall on top of Rollins and secure the pin to become the new United States champion. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, I'm sure. because he's the dumbass who hit the spear that. that oh, I mean, come on. Lashley's already kind of gone heel now, which is kind of fun. Everybody loves it when Brock Lesnar gets beat up. Well,
we do.
We do. There's some of you who don't. He's the wrestling god. As JBL would say. Yeah, let's bypass it. Anyways, I wanted to give credit though, because that curb stomp that Rollins pulled on Lashley was freaking impressive.
I will say that the freaking
Yeah.
they brought the pedigree.
Yeah, that was terrible. But the curb stomp when he launched himself off of Theory's back onto Lashley, that was impressive. I'm like, that's a good curb stomp. Why it didn't finish there is beyond me. But, you know, they're giving Theory that.
They're pushing trying to get the crowd into it.
I know. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying though, when you get that good of a curb stomp, let it be done right there. Come on, that was legit good. Well, the only thing that I think would have made it cooler is if he could have somehow managed to curb stomp one and momentum carries him into another curb stomp, because that would have been epic. Yeah, like I curb stomp Austin, able to move it over into a curb stomp on Lashley, and then I get to pick my poison. Basically, that's not really bad, but I'm just saying. I get to pick my spoils. There you go. How about that? Spoils. All right, so you ready to talk about the final match of the night, the main event, the final war game of the night, as the Bloodline took on the Brawling Brutes. Now, the Bloodline, of course, as we mentioned earlier, had Sami Zayn, and the Brawling Brutes added McIntyre and Kevin Owens. As we said, this made a lot of sense in how Sami Zayn's been following around the Bloodline for a month now, at least a month, I think almost 2 months. Almost 2 full months. So having Kevin Owens being part of it made sense because him and Zayn have history as best friends. I mean, they're really best friends, but I'm just saying. Because right now, in storytelling, they're not best friends. Yeah. But we know they're best friends. Yeah, so we know they're actually best friends, but I'm just saying. Storyline, they're not best friends anymore. So that makes sense. And then McIntyre's had a history with Roman. And so it was kind of cool to see McIntyre and Sheamus, who've had their own history, put aside their differences for the purpose of trying to defeat the Bloodline. So it made a lot of sense. Your friend. Right. So let's get down to business. The match started with Butch and undisputed WWE Tag Champion Jey Uso locked inside the cage. Also, by the way, Kevin Owens beat, I believe it was Jey Uso in a singles match that gave the Brawling Brutes team the advantage for this match. I forgot to say that beforehand. All right, anyways, Butch immediately attacked Jay's hand, manipulating joints and smashing his fingers. Jay would overcome it, though, and slam Butch into the cage, but Butch kept attacking the injured arm of Jay. Ridge Holland entered the match next, for the Brawling Brutes, and knocked down Jay with a pair of shoulder tackles. And corner splashes. As the 2-on-1 beatdown continued, Holland and Butch continued to torture Jay in his injured arm. Jimmy Uso was prepared to save his brother, but undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns held him back and forced Sami Zayn to go out and prove his loyalty to the Bloodline. If you didn't see the pay-per-view, Jay had been questioning Sami's commitment or loyalty to the Bloodline. Yeah. So this was Roman saying, "You want your proof? You want to prove it? Go prove it now." Instead of allowing Jimmy to go say, Jay, it would be Sami to do it because actually in real sense, in real story, not just storytelling, but in real life, if you have to partner up with somebody who you also don't see eye to eye with, that's actually good leadership strategy in real life too. He's like, hey, I need you two to get along, so go save his ass.
Yeah.
So that's actually brilliant. That's actually good storytelling right there
Oh, definitely.
because that's real world stuff. A leader would do that. So that's actually very sensible to do. So Zayn, who had a frosty relationship with Jay, as we were mentioning, went right after Holland and Butch, showing Jay firsthand that they can coexist. McIntyre would be the next man to join the action. The Scottish Warrior quickly dispatched Jay and Zayn, repeatedly throwing Jay into the cage. As the Bloodline tried to rally, McIntyre used his incredible strength to overpower them both and hit Zayn with a future shock DDT. Jimmy then would finally enter into the match, and he brought 3 tables into the ring with him. Zayn and Jay bickered over who would set up the tables, much to the demise of Jimmy and Reigns.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, how dare you guys fight? And
All right.
so,
Great. All right. Kevin Owens brought in multiple chairs into the ring upon his entry and immediately began attacking both Usos and Zayn with cannonballs and a top rope senton. Owens culminated his attack by excuse me, smashing Jimmy through one of the tables with a side slam. The enforcer of the bloodline, Solo Sequoia, arrived to the ring next and clobbered Holland and Butch, sending the latter face first into the cage. Oh, sending the ladder. Got it. Never mind. Former ladder. Never mind. My bad. I screwed up my own reading. Despite being thrown into yeah. I wasn't paying attention. Those were T's and not D's. I was not paying attention that those were T's and not D's, and so that threw my out. I'm like, double T. Yeah. Anyways, damn double T's. I'd rather see double D's. Anyways, that's besides the point. Despite being thrown into the cage and being super kicked, Solo would crush Owens with a back body drop onto the steel between the 2 rings. Sheamus entered the cage as the final member of the Brawling Brutes and rallied his team with drubbing of the Bloodline. That was kind of cool. Sheamus punctuated the attack with a white noise from the second rope on Sequoia. Sequoia. Is it Sequoia or Sequoia? Sequoia. My bad. Yeah, just call him Red Solo. Oh, never mind. Wouldn't it be funny if he ever came out with just a necklace made of solo cups? Just saying, that'd be funny. You mean Street Profits? Yeah, I'm just saying though. That's a big deal, man. Prime time players. Next thing you know, he's gonna start calling out Crime Time. Yeah, he's gonna start calling out Crime Time after that. Anyways, may Shad Gaspar rest in peace. Let's see here. Reigns would finally enter the ring, and the match officially would begin with each team drawing battle lines in both rings. The entire Brawling Brutes trapped a member of the Bloodline between 2 cages and hit them with 10 or 25 beats of the Bodhrán. That was amazing. The unison was astonishing. They were sure trying. He was
trying to get
He was trying. He almost got away too. It was quite entertaining to watch. Sheamus clocked Solo with a bro kick, but turned around into a spear from Reigns, only being saved from pinfall by Butch. As the carnage continued, the Usos hit stereo super kicks on Ridge, which Reigns immediately followed with a spear through a table. With bodies all throughout the ring, Solo hit a spinning solo on McIntyre through a table, only for Solo to get leveled by a stunner from Owens. After a pop-up powerbomb and a stunner on Reigns, Owens seemingly had the match won, but Zayn grabbed the referee's arm to prevent the 3 count and saved the match for the Bloodline. As Zayn and Owens argued over their loyalty, Zayn used a distraction to hit Owens with an uppercut below the belt and a haluva kick, setting up Jay for the winning splash, allowing the Bloodline to come away victorious. After the match, Reigns extended his arms and congratulated the honorary Uso with a hug. Moments later, a fired up Jay followed suit, at long last embracing Zayn, while the Bloodline stood tall as Survivor Series War Games concluded. Mhm. Yeah,
I was like, ooh, people.
right. It sure seemed like that way.
Yeah.
But let's back to that ending. So Owens looks like he's got this match won. Saying they got this part right. I just don't like how they kind of blown past what actually was going on. They could have went into a little bit more detail. So I'm going to go do that for you. So after Zayn stops the rest 3 count by grabbing his arm, basically lays on top of him. And looks like he's about to put the ref in a freaking hold or something. The way he's holding the ref. And then of course Owens gets up. They're arguing. That's when Jimmy was actually going to super kick Kevin Owens. Owens grabs him to block it, and that's when, of course, the low blow uppercut onto Owens from Zayn happens. Then after that, he looks down at Roman. Roman gives him the look of finish this shit. He then runs, does the hula kick as Owens had gotten up and gotten into the corner of the ring to the corner ring post. Hits him with the hula kick, grabs him. Looks like he's actually going to probably finish him off with a pin or maybe throw him into the corner again to do another hula kick. Sees Jay had gotten up, looking at him. They look at each other, give each other a look, and then Zayn lays Owens down on his back and to go, there you go, you finish it. That's for you. Yeah. And Jay then would do the dive off the top rope, getting the pin off of Owens for the victory for the Bloodline. So that's a better way to say it. Let's actually talk about how it ends. Right. Yep.
It was nice. Mm-hmm. I like I don't care if people like the Bloodline. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I've always wanted those 3 to actually something so the fact that they got it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course
so, finally,
because
that's right. And now so Sammy's finally oozy enough for the blood. Yes, sir.
As far as WWE goes right now, they are heading into greener pastures.
Yeah.
Everything that's gone on in the past couple of months with the lawsuit, with all the releases, all that, it's kind of nice to finally see some wrestling and storytelling done inside the ring.
Yeah.
More than outside.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And so
what is this? We don't have another main roster pay-per-view for
the year. Yeah, we 2 months, actually almost 2 exactly full months, actually a little over 2 full months. Coming up on December 10th. Yeah. It's a NXT deadline. And actually, they're actually got something that we're actually going to check out, and then we'll actually discuss it on, on our podcast after December 10th, because that's when it's going to be.
I haven't really this is intriguing. I think we need to watch it. Yeah. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, the Iron Man Survivor match.
Yeah.
That is chaos.
Yeah.
Unhinged chaos. It's going to be fun. I want to actually check this out. Plus I'm pretty sure most of their titles are on the line that night too. I know Braun Breaker is going to put the NXT title on the line. I think. I don't remember. I don't remember who. I think it's Mandy still, isn't she? The still NXT Women's Champion. I think her title's going to be on the line, and I think the North American title is also going to be on the line too. They may throw the tag titles on the line, but it's really going to depend because they got 2 matches guaranteed that's going to last 25 minutes, which is the Iron Man Survivor match or Iron Survivor match, however they're calling it, which is basically an Iron Man match 5 ways. 5 ways. Pinfall, submission, or disqualification is the only way you can do it. It starts off with 2, and then it's kind of like a little bit of war games, but there's no cage. Well, technically there is a cage because there's a penalty box.
Yeah.
Because if you're actually on the losing end of a submission, a disqualification, or a pinfall, you have to spend 90 seconds inside a penalty box. So it's like we got war games, Iron Man match, and hockey rolled into one.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like the fact that wrestlers have more creative
Yeah,
and better nowadays.
absolutely.
It's interesting to watch.
So yeah, so WWE is taking some things out there and making them interesting.
Thank you, WWE.
Thank you, Triple H. Yes, thank you, Triple H. We're looking forward to seeing what happens. So we'll be doing more wrestling talk before that, obviously. But I'm just saying that's going to be our next. I don't know if that works out to our live. I don't think it does. We might actually maybe do it depending on. I think actually that week might end up being sports talks, and depending on what's going on with basketball in the off season, we might just make wrestling back to that live again. So
Yeah. I mean,
it is. Yeah, it's gonna be off the wall interesting. We're gonna check it out. So we hope you check it out. Of course, it will be on Peacock. We all know how much we all hate Peacock.
Yeah.
And I don't care what WWE says. We don't. I don't think they do.
Aren't they getting ready to change the contract?
There's been talks that they're open to a lot of different things. There's been rumors about Disney buying it, which seems odd to me.
Yeah.
But then again,
Disney buys it, and so
well, I was saying it seemed odd because it just doesn't seem like their kind of thing. But then again, they had to start doing rated R stuff because they bought all of Fox's properties.
Yeah.
And Fox gets a little edgy,
that
i.e., Logan, i.e., Deadpool, a Deadpool 2, Deadpool 3 that's going to be coming out. It's R rated. So, and we were watching, why am I drawing a blank on Daredevil? Major blank on Daredevil. Daredevil, I don't think it was rated R, but it was like NR 17 or something. It was basically rated R because there was a lot of shit you had to see. Yeah, I'm sitting there watching this and I was like, no wonder they kind of made sure no one saw that except for Shield and Agent Carter because, yeah, that was some crazy crap. But anyway, we're getting off track. But anyway, Disney's one of them. I think they're thinking about reopening back up the USA WWE network, bringing it back. I've heard. I don't know. It's nothing's confirmed because, as we know, Disney hasn't officially bought them yet. If it's anything, it's probably going to end up being Disney or Amazon at this point. Honestly, if it comes to streaming. Amazon Prime. I know. The only thing I do like about the Peacock, it's part of our freaking cable package with Xfinity, so it's free. It's free because I'm already paying so much with Xfinity. So I know we still ran out of data.
Yeah.
Anyways, but hey, if I want to spend an extra $25 a month on their freaking equipment, they'll give me unlimited. Might do it. Just depends. I keep doing it though. Yeah, I know. I gotta see if it's worth it. I'll see if it's worth it. Anyways, so
Wow.
yeah, we are. Well, I mean, it's pretty much the end of the episode. So that's how it goes for us. It was. Yes, sir. We took, of course, like I said, we took last week off so Cooper can spend time with his kids. And of course, he went down south to spend time with his family down there. I chilled out at the house because somebody has to watch our pets. We have so many
We have
pets.
too many birds. We have like, mm, it's, it's crazy.
No, not quite a farm. I would say a petting zoo.
Still,
Too many.
too many.
We're missing outside animals for the petting zoo portion. Basically, that's all we're missing technically.
Yeah, I thought about this outside animals. Then I thought dogs were probably
Except when you try to get the goats and the goats headbutt their butts.
that might be fun,
True, that might be fun and
So-
entertaining. That might be free entertainment right there.
right?
Anyways, so next we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have football talk because we got an interesting week of football, and I'm promising you, I'm still staying away from the conspiracy theory shit because Oregon got screwed
Again.
again, and I've already given up on the Rams. So go Chiefs, baby!
Right?
Red Kingdom, go Chiefs! Basically, that's where I'm at now because I don't really care for anybody else. I root for his team. Honestly, I would. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. If his team makes the playoff,
I'm probably not going to.
I mean,
We'll
you're
see what
4-7.
happens.
You got a
We'll see what
chance.
happens.
You got to win 6 more games in a row. But yeah, you guys are going to have a little bit of issue too because I think you still got to face the Browns at least once, and they got Deshaun back. So,
Yeah.
of course, then again, we're also talking about Deshaun who hasn't played in almost 2 years.
That's gonna be
So,
interesting too.
yeah,
Mhm.
feel bad for the Texans because they got to watch him come back down there and probably smack him around.
I hope he does.
Right. But so we'll be back tomorrow with football talk. There's been some stuff going on. I'm hoping some more actual breaking news into baseball will make sports talk actually interesting. So sports talk is iffy for Friday episode. So I'm waiting for breaking news. Basketball hasn't done a whole lot.
Something.
I mean, the Lakers went on a little bit of a tear and then have fallen off again. That's my luck. I really don't. Because now they're like,
And you guys don't want to hear it.
oh, they're like, oh, well, now we're playing good. Now we don't need to trade Westbrook or Anthony Davis. I'm like, just fucking trade them. Anyways, I know. Just give me the new button. Let me do it. You need a new GM. I'm cheaper than Rob Pelinka. Same. Pay off all my student loans and give me about $50K a year. Yeah. Pay off all my debts. And just give me $50K a year. Basically, actually, technically, you get me for almost a year and a half free. Technically. Actually, that'll be my signing bonus. And then it's 50,000 a year. It's only 50,000 a year. Come on. That's hard to live in Los Angeles. I have to move. But we can still do the podcast. Because we have it set up and we can do it now. Except you'll be on your computer. I'll have this one. Anyways, so that's one more episode guaranteed, maybe 2. Like I said, baseball's got to give us something. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of boring. I mean, yes, Team USA advanced, but and nothing else is really exciting happening in any other sport. So yeah. So thank you, football and wrestling. Because that's what I love about football, even in the offseason. Something almost always happens in football. And the XFL will be coming in, and then the USFL is still coming back for season 2. So we'll have 2 spring leagues. Of course we will. We got to talk about football. It's football. The only time we're really going to have our time doing anything for football is when we're making up shit for football talk in late July because training camps haven't started yet. Actually, it's basically early July to late July because training camps hasn't started yet. Because once training camp starts, baby, that's all going good. Anyways, well, that does it for us here at Sports Talk. And as always, keep on talking sports. When you say stop, I say stop. Thank you. Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
And I hope you interact with us. We're gonna interact with fans.
Yes. Oh wait, hang on. We're gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna show you guys this. There's our banner. That's all of our online stuff right there. YouTube.
Yeah.
Sorry, Twitch, I don't have a way of showing it to you right now. Go over to YouTube and see this later on our YouTube channel, which is sport. I believe it's just sports talk, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
YouTube. Did I put it on there? I didn't put it on there, did I?
Uh-oh.
My bad. Pretty sure it's Sports Talk with Cooper and Payman. If you just look that
Yeah,
up, you can find us on YouTube. Anyways, if you do that, you can find us on there, and you can see all of our. You can see our TikTok, our Twitter, Facebook, our Facebook page, and our Instagram. Yeah. So be sure to check that out if you're not. And also, if you are on YouTube, I'm hoping you're seeing it now. So it says we have no viewers currently. Probably none of you are seeing objectively.
Probably do.
But we hope you see it later and you enjoy. But that'll do it for us here. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you next week on Football Talk.
Later.